On the bike course, the men are coming back now into the transition area. That's Rob Mackle, who is right now leading Dave Scott. Rob Mackle with a great bike time, same with Dave Scott. Mike Plant, what's the feeling in the transition area?
Scott Molina is conspicuous in his absence here. Dave Scott leads Rob Mackle off the bike. Rob is an improving runner, but he's certainly not fast enough. At least history has shown that he is not fast enough to be able to run away from Dave Scott. Dave has consistently, over the past years, been the fastest runner of the day off the bike.
A 40-second lead over the next man in.
So Dave Scott heading out a little bit behind Rob Mackle. Rob doing a nice job in the transition area. He'd better do a nice job in the transition area, though, I'll tell you that, because Dave is going to be coming hard behind him. From where we're looking here, Rob Mackle is about to learn a lesson in triathlons. Rob is kind of settling into a pace, and Dave goes by him here. This is what makes Dave Scott, Dave Scott. When he's on, when he's ready to race, nobody goes harder and faster. Dave has an interesting philosophy. He really doesn't just like to win. I've seen him race time and time again. And what he likes to do is not just win, but destroy his opponents. He went by Rob Mackle, I don't know, and left Rob sitting in the middle of the street like a stone. Dave is the only guy, as a matter of fact, at the Ironman in Hawaii to break 2:50 for the marathon. He's done that twice. 2:49 in the marathon at the Ironman.
An hour and 15 minutes into the event, we're seeing that Dave Scott has overtaken Rob Mackle for the run. But at this point, Carl, is he looking for Molina? Does he know that he's out?
I don't know if he does or not, JP. He probably doesn't know for sure whether Molina's in the race or out of the race. He clearly knows he has Rob Mackle put away. This is Dave Scott's race. However, last week in Phoenix, Scott Molina made up time on Dave Scott in the run. If, in Dave's mind, if Scott is still in the race, he can still be captured. At the point that Dave will know that one way or the other is the run turnaround. When he's running back across the causeway, the longer he doesn't see Molina, the more comfortable he becomes. But right now, Dave Scott's running for his life.
Well, it really is Dave Scott's day, JP. It's hard to believe, watching this guy run, that he's 35 years old. I mean, he's as fast as he ever was. And this is the turnaround. Now, Dave sees the first man is not Scott Molina or someone else. It's Rob Mackle, who he knows he can outrun. And one of those other guys has got to be Steve Fitch. Rob is just hanging on here. His best events are gone. The swim is gone. The bike is gone. Now, what Rob has to do is try to hold on to as many places as he can. The issue of Dave being a long or a short distance triathlon has been around for a while. I talked to Dave yesterday about that.
You know, everyone said, listen, Dave Scott's the Ironman champion. He only do things over 8 hours. And looking back, at one point, I was dominant in the short races. Everyone else caught up, moved past me, and I didn't feel as though they needed to do that. If you try to live up to the media's satisfaction, you try to live up to your peers' satisfaction, you're never going to succeed. And so I just went back and said, listen, I know I could be a better athlete. I know I can improve on what I've done. If that means winning some of the Bud Light USTS races, if that means winning the Ironman again, I'm going to set my goal and I'm going to try to do it. And I'm going to do it.
History has shown in this sport that when Dave Scott says he's going to do it, he does indeed. This is a guy who is driven by goals. Here's our second and third place guy, and we can tell now that the second place, the guy on the right, in any case at this point, is Lance Armstrong. This is rather surprising. Lance Armstrong is a 17-year-old kid from Plano, Texas, who emerged at the beginning of last year and surprised everyone with his cycling ability, but not his running ability, I'll tell you. And in second place, moving ahead now and looking maybe like he might be in control or taking control, is Steve Fitch. Steve Fitch from West Chester, Pennsylvania. He was second last year in Miami. And here's our winner, Dave Scott. The winner last week at the season opener of the Bud Light USTS in Phoenix. Dave's taking his second USTS win in a row, and it's been years and years since he's done that. The winning time last year, almost a minute, an hour, 51 minutes. Actually, a 1:50:57 or 58, I think. Dave Scott is easily under that mark. He's going to be way under 150. So not only has Dave caught up with the guys who have been faster than he over the last several years. Dave Scott has passed them. Look at this, 147 something up there. My goodness, what a great performance. Once again. Oh, what a great job. Dave Scott, 6-time winner of the Ironman now, 2-time winner of the 1989 Bud Light USTS. 89 Bud Light USTS. Great race. Really nice job for Dave Scott. And the race for second place is heating up. Steve Fitch still in second place, but Lance Armstrong has not dropped back. I thought he might be dropping back, but not so. Lance, interestingly enough, is a member of Team USA cycling team. He will be going to Moscow in July to compete in the World Junior Cycling Championships. But he can't decide whether he wants to be a cyclist or a triathlete. I'll tell you, he's doing both very well right now. And as a matter of fact, he's now challenging Steve Fitch for second place. The 17-year-old kid, hungry, and he's smelled the finish line, and now he's taking the race back from Steve Fitch. Now, Steve is either going to coast in on Lance's tail and then try to outsprint him at the finish line. No, as a matter of fact, I'll tell you what's happening. The 17-year-old kid is running away from Steve Fitch right now. He just really put it in high gear, and Steve Fitch has lost him. Lance Armstrong, once again from Plano, Texas, just 17 years old, the future of this sport. Last year, Lance graduated from Plano East Senior High School in Plano, Texas. And if we talk about him being the future of the sport, we really mean it, because as a matter of fact, when he was 13, Lance won an Iron Kids event, a triathlon event designed for kids. And he is now right there among the top pros literally in the world. And interestingly enough, Lance is, look at him go. I'll tell you, cocky. You can only do that when you're 17. Lance's mom is just 35 years old. She's as old as Dave Scott. So really, Lance could be Dave Scott's son. But today, he is not Dave Scott's son. In fact, he is Dave Scott's competitor. Lance Armstrong finishing in second place, outsprinting Steve Fitch to the finish line. What a great job for Lance today. He's got to be high as a kite. And here's Steve Fitch. Look, I'm sure that he must absolutely be shocked that this young kid who does not have the reputation, even many thought the ability to be able to run by him. Look at him, his hands out. He's just going, what in the world do I have to do to win a race? Dave Scott in first place, Lance Armstrong in second, and astonished Steve Fitch in third.
On the men's side, it was a day for the young and the old in triathlon. On the young side, a real surprise. 17-year-old Lance Armstrong finished in second place to the big winner, Dave Scott.
Dave Scott, 6-time Ironman champion, JP, in the best shape he's been in since his last Ironman victory in 1987, obviously competing this year with a vengeance. Lance Armstrong, 17 years old, obviously the wave of the future, had the race of his life today. Old and new, 35-year-old veteran, the 17-year-old new